You gotta get you some. You gotta get you some foot models.
Yeah, I mean, hey, anything to increase sales, I'm down.
I like pretty feet, so you know what I'm saying. I'll be on your joint. Just he got some pretty feet in his joint. Welcome back to What's Up With You, everybody. Tonight we got my man Eric E. I ain't gonna tell you his government name. Owner, operator, CEO of Red Mountain Resell. You can follow him on Instagram at red_mountain_resell. Right? As you can see in the pinned comment, if you're on the IG live, special promo code. If you're on this live, it'll last till Monday for the I Am Chels X store. The promo code is all caps. It's Mountain, MOUNTAIN, for
Appreciate
15%
that.
off. Yeah, see, I got you. And special shout out to my man, my brother AJ Throwback. Y'all show him some love, support him. He got his music going. You go to BAMMLLC.net // shop batch if you want to get the merch. But if you just go to BAM.LLC.net, you can get his music and all of that good stuff too. So that's my guy. Okay. What should I call you? Can I call you Bonds? I feel more comfortable calling you Bonds.
Of course, man. Of course.
Bonds, owner, CEO of Red Mountain Resell. What's up with you?
What's up, man? What's up? It's crazy. I feel like we should have done this a long time ago, but all great things take some time, right?
Hey, man, greatness takes time sometimes, you know? It'd be
Greatness
like
takes time.
that. Man, so if y'all see me looking this way, I got a little bit of a new setup, so I got my notepad right here. So just show me some, give me some love. So
I figured that's what
my
it was.
man, yeah, because I'll tell you later.
Alfredo, what's going on? Nessa's in here. What's going on?
Shout out to everybody in the comments. Yo, y'all show them some love in the comments. If y'all got a question, put it in the comments. I do my best to answer audience questions. And if it's something that you absolutely have to have me read, put it in a little question mark thing, because then it'll pop up, and then y'all see me reach up and stuff. And this is me waving to y'all because my phone is further away because I'm showing off my subconscious teeth and all
Love
of
it,
that
man.
stuff.
I was happy to see it. No, because we talked about it. You showed it to me, and then it was like the next week I saw you promoting it. So I'm like, that's that action, taking that action, man. That's what it's about.
Got to. So you have a love of shoes, a love of music, and you're a business owner, right? So
Yeah.
let's start with the shoes and the music and the connection between the both. What is it about shoes that touches your spirit?
So to be honest, money. I've never been a shoe person. Like John's in here, he'll tell you, man, as long as I can remember, Tim's and Air Force Ones. Like I'd be on the boardwalk in Ocean City. It's 90 degrees and I got on Tim's, right? Like
Right.
That's just what it is. But like getting into like the business, trying to find something that everybody needs and it consistently sells, led me to find people on YouTube and Instagram, and I'm like, all right, let's give shoes a try, and it's been a wrap ever since then.
So has your respect or your admiration for shoes increased since you sell them now?
Definitely, because you just normally like you don't think about it. You need shoes, you buy them, you put them on, you buy new ones when you need new ones, right? Or if your kids they outgrow them, you get new ones. But just like there's a whole like I don't want to say culture because that seems like we're talking about like the hype shoes and stuff, but like there's specific shoes for runners, or if you have a certain type of foot, like it just goes way beyond what you would just normally think. So yeah, it's a weird it's a weird thing to like be interested in, but also be excited about learning.
When you sell your shoes, right? do people have like specific questions for you about the shoes at all, or do they just look at them, buy them, and cop them?
Yeah, I get I get a range of questions from can they be cheaper? How long were they worn?
No,
Yeah.
no,
What? Yes.
no, no.
Yes. No. Hey, I have a store coupon running. Please use that. That's usually the answer. But most of the times the questions are, why are you selling them? What length are they? How long have you had them? Like just random questions as if they're my personal shoes. But right, if you look at the store, most normal people wouldn't have 1,200 shoes of men's, women, and children's, right? So,
right.
Can you model the shoes? I see a lot of women
post that.
I see a lot of women post that, like they'll get that question for like Instagram. I mean, I'm sorry, not Instagram, Facebook. I see a lot of women put that up, which is insane.
But you can't model them because they're not all your size, right?
Exactly. and that's the craziest question, getting that about a size 6 women's shoe. But again, on eBay, they don't know I'm a guy, right? So
you gotta get you some foot models.
Yeah, I mean, hey, anything to increase sales, I'm down.
I like pretty feet, so you know what I'm saying. I'll be on your joint. He got some pretty feet in his joint.
Would you know, it's funny you say that. Those are like the weirdest pictures to me, right? Like if you look on some of the more like interactive sites like Poshmark and Macari, there'll be people like the pictures are them wearing the shoes, and I'm like, that's gross, especially if it's like sandals. I can see your toes, like, ugh, it's weird.
That's funny. That's funny. What's your favorite shoe?
Right now, Hoka's. I got a pair of Hoka. I think they're the Bondi 7s. I got them when we were at the beach. They're just a real comfortable shoe. They have a lot of like sole to them. Mm-hmm. They probably wouldn't be good for running, especially somebody like me. I'm clumsy, like, but they're a real good walking shoe.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of. Are they called Hokas?
Yeah, Hoka, Hokas.
You have any on your store?
No, not now. They usually sell pretty fast, men's and women's. And the good thing about Hokas is they can be pretty worn. I mean, with an exception here or there, but they can be pretty worn and still sell for $30-$40.
Oh, Anthony said they dad shoes.
I'm a dad.
Yo, real quick. The person said starter OnlyFans for shoe modeling. Yo, I'll do it.
Hey, anything to build onto the business, multiple streams of income. I got it, man. I'm with it.
I've actually thought about that. You thought about starting an OnlyFans for real, just to be like, yo, if you want this special content, you want this insider information, you gotta pay, $5.99 a month for this, for the only Trails on I Am Trails X OnlyFans.
No, God no. Just get a Patreon.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, this is more professional, huh?
Yeah. Oh, my cousin's in here. What's going on, cuz?
What up, cuz? How you doing? Let me ask you this. What music? Talk about your love for music. Like, when did it start? How did it start? How did that come about?
Man, how long we got? Man,
I'm off tonight, so I got all night.
Nice. My earliest memories of music was sitting outside of my dad's room where he's getting ready for work, and he's got Tupac playing. And then that turned into DMX albums coming out. Me and him going to Walmart to buy the CDs. And listening to those all the way to my grandmother's house, sitting in the car, finishing the whole CD before we went into my grandmother's house. Then, like, I remember, and it's crazy because I have a terrible memory. Yeah, old school CD case. I remember when me and my dad were talking about Pun's last CD like nonstop, and I remember hearing on the radio he passed, and I just remember my dad coming in and handing me the CD. Like, yeah, man, music for me is everything.
What's your favorite Tupac record?
Temptations.
Really? That's a good one.
I know. I don't know why that album always stuck out to me. I don't know why. Because I remember hearing, he obviously came out after. I remember hearing All Eyes on Me first, or just probably my first memories. But that album, Temptations, oh my goodness, yeah.
I think my favorite Tupac record is either, I don't know, it's so many of them. I like Dear Mama a lot. I like Keep Your Head Up a lot. But then
Yeah,
he got these two joints on Are You Still Down? He got this one joint called Hellraiser where
yeah,
like that shit was just pure energy, you know what I'm saying?
yes,
Like, oh my God. And then
yeah,
it's another one on there too that I really like. I think it's Are You Still Down? I think it's the title track. But either which way,
yep,
rest in peace, Pac. Pac is always and always will be, was and always will be a legend. Um,
absolutely, man.
for those of y'all who don't know, but know some of my music, Bonds is the producer of Wasted Intelligence.
Yeah, yeah,
So if you never heard Wasted Intelligence, he produced that record. I still get a couple pennies here and there from that joint. So
and that's
good
crazy,
job.
right? Like every time I talk about that song, man, I tell people like it's incredible. Me and again, terrible memory, but I remember sitting outside of White Flint, having that amazing conversation, start talking about music. I sent you some beats, and then the finished product was that conversation boiled down to a song. Like, I couldn't get no better than that.
That joint, that's one of my favorite songs that I don't listen to that often because I don't want it to get old. You know what I'm saying? But it's
I
every time I hear it,
absolutely,
it's always fresh. Like, oh man, like it's just different.
yeah. Every time, I mean, to be honest, I don't have many tracks with people on them.
Mm-hmm.
So especially like out in the world, right? Like you could literally jump on Apple and find it. So like listening to that song with you on it and me making the beat, like it's I feel you. It's kind of like every time I listen to it, it's kind of like the first time.
Yeah, it's always new.
Yeah.
Now, off the music, because I really want to get into the business and the shoes, right? Behind you, it looks like you have a warehouse.
I kind of do now, man. I
A
kind of do.
warehouse, right? So let's talk about it. How do you house all of these shoes?
So I have well, all right. So in January, me and my wife, I had a conversation with my wife. I said, look, I want to scale this, and if nothing changes, nothing changes. So I want to take the basement. I don't want to pay for storage. I don't want to work outside of the house. I want to take the basement. Before that, the kids had the whole basement. So she was like, well, then they get your office as a playroom. Bet, let's start moving stuff. So I started putting up my racks, and then I already had a really good inventory system in the back. It just quadrupled once I moved it out here and then really scaled it out. Like, I don't think I could. Let me see if I could turn this.
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, and it goes on for a little bit. And I still have some more to put up, but it works. It works really well.
So, do you know how many shoes you have down there? Like, do you keep a count of your inventory total?
Yeah, I have 1,200 listed. Um, Probably close to 200 or 300 not listed that I'm working through. Because I've got a bunch the other week. And then I have somebody in California that consistently sends me shoes. And then I went and bought some shoes yesterday, just on coincidence. But continuing to just add to the inventory and turn the inventory over and then buy more.
Do you have like you have like some program or software that you use that lets you know where the shoes are, where they're located are they like, because it look like you got aisles. So if I go in your store and I buy, some Nike running shoes, you like, oh, he wants the A6 838s, and then you have some aisle 5.
So
How does that work?
so I do. So if you can see it, like this one right here. So all the shelves are lettered, right? So this is shelf D. And then on shelf D, I'll know, okay, it's this pair of New Balances, right? And then on the inside of the shoe, I got a SKU. So on the inside of eBay, it allows you to add like a custom SKU area, but the customer can't see it. So when it sells, I just look, okay, it's shelf this, it's this shoe, and then I triple check it with the SKU. So I know where everything is.
Wow, that you my idol, yeah. I want to be you when I grow up.
I'm small time, man. I'm trying to grow still.
Yeah, but you're doing like what I see behind you and what you just showed me is what I imagine like Foot Locker looks when I be like, I want these in the 12, and they go back there. But you had that
And
in
it's
your
funny.
house though, bro. That's crazy.
It's funny because not too long ago, my family was over, and my aunt and my cousin, appreciate them, they bought a couple shoes from me, and it was just that. I had my laptop out. I'm like, all right, this is what I have in your size. My wife knows how the inventory system goes, so I'm like, okay, she wants this. My wife went right over, went to the shelf, pulled the SKU out. My aunt was able to try them on. My cousin was able to try them on, and what they got, they took. Anything else, my wife put back on the shelf in the right place.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. I am duly impressed. I've never seen anything like that before. But where not that there wasn't some brand name corporation behind. And I know people, I know people out here who do their thing with business, but maybe it's just maybe I don't know them, and I know you, so I'm lucky.
Yeah. And I've
That's
learned all
what's
this
up.
stuff from other people, man, and put my own little spin on it. Hey, Tina, what up, man?
Yeah. Now the shoes that you sell, are they're used? They like lightly used or something, right?
Yes, yeah. Probably 99.9% of the stuff I have is pre-owned, but in good condition.
Okay, so when they come to you, do you have to clean most of them?
Yeah, and even that, I'm getting better at doing that. Like when I first started, I was just buying anything. Like the dirtier it was in the store. Hey, what's up, Chris? The dirtier it was in the store, the cheaper it was. But I quickly learned once you get home, it takes you twice the amount of time to clean it, which like time versus money, right? Like it was kind of a waste of time. So like now when I hit the store, I make sure I get stuff that doesn't take me a long time to clean, like 5 minutes or less, so I can get through it and get it listed.
You got a post on your page. You posted something. I don't know if it was a story or a reel, and you mentioned about the shoes with the cat hair. What's up with the?
Man. So that's the crazy thing because like these and so that's one of my nemesis, shoes with pet hair in them. And I used to buy a lot of those because they were cheap. I don't anymore. So whatever shoe I ended up touching, man, it didn't have any hair, but the eye started watering. I was like, oh snap, somebody had a cat. Then I was just a mess. I was a mess.
Damn. So you get the shoes. So when you do you go shopping for them, or do you
Yeah.
how do you get it? How do you get the shoes?
So a majority of stuff I get at the thrift store, and then once a week I get shoes from a guy in California. So he sends me 20, 40, 60 pairs a week, depending on what he gets out there. He mails them to me. But a majority of my stuff I go to the thrift store and get all around the area. And I try to make a day of it, so I only have to do it like once or twice a month. That's the goal. Try to get everything I need in 1 or 2 trips, so then I can spend like the majority of my time listing it, selling it, and all that good stuff.
Yo, if y'all don't follow Red Mountain Resell, yeah, make sure y'all go ahead and follow him. And if y'all don't follow me too. I'm a pretty nice guy. And if you want to talk to me, just shoot me a DM. My podcast is about you, so that's that's a quick plug. Um,
Always.
do you have like what's your best selling brand?
Mm, I don't know. I should track that. It's probably Skechers, to be honest with you.
Really?
I want to say Skechers because I buy a lot and I box a lot of them up, but I need to like really track brands. That it is really important to track that. But I think Skechers is probably the best seller.
Okay. Reload supply. How many shoes do you list per day?
I do 20 right now. My goal is to do 30 or more. and start building up a draft bank. Like in eBay, you can create these drafts, and the theory behind it is if you build your draft bank up, if an emergency or something happens and you can't clean or list, you already got shoes loaded in there, or whatever you're listing, you got it loaded in there, so you can essentially take a night off and just draft, load your drafts, list your drafts up.
Okay, about that wallet, said, what are some shoe care tips?
Shoe care or cleaning?
So let's go with cleaning first.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see. The biggest tip for shoe cleaning: buy shoes that don't need a lot of cleaning. To be honest,
buy the clean ones.
buy the cleanest shoes you can. But my tips: keep it simple. Get stuff that doesn't take a lot of cleaning. Like I only use one thing, which is Dawn soap in a spray bottle with water, and a few different brushes. And then I have like a little tweezer, like I get like rocks and stuff out of the bottom of the sole. But how do I say it? It's always good to learn something. Like I've been trying to learn more about like real leather boots, like what to not restore them, but get them ready to sell. But stuff like suede, like, don't waste your time trying to clean them. Like it's just pass on those. Get stuff that's easy to clean.
Let me ask you this: how do you know? Can y'all still hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got some new earbuds that actually about that wallet told me that he had.
I was gonna ask. Yeah.
I got them, but now it sounds a little different in my ear. So as long as y'all can hear me, we'll keep it moving.
Oh, my man Zach here. What's going on, Zach?
What up, Zach? How do you know what your price point is for each shoe?
That's a good question, man. So research and experience, really, at this point. Most of the stuff that I'm picking up, I've picked up before, and I know as I'm buying it, it's going to go into one of my pricing buckets. Like I do it 29, 39, 49, 59, and so on. So like I know when I'm grabbing it to buy it, what is going to be listed at. And most of the time, I try to stay away from things that are 29. I try to look for the things I know I can sell at 39 or more. And that's because as my inventory ages, I discounted a certain percent, right? So as soon as from 0 to 30 days, it's 10%. From 30 to 60, it's 20, and then I just increase it as it goes up. So I try to stay away with stuff that's lower.
Okay. How long you been in business?
Man, so I was officially LLC'd in December 23rd of 2020 was like the official. But I really didn't start getting into like shoes until it was probably like March, April of 2021, when the original stuff I was trying to sell just really wasn't working.
So you established during the pandemic?
Yes, almost the end of it. Well, no, we were a year into it. Yeah, we were almost a year into it.
Did the pandemic, a lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people talk about how the pandemic inspired them to start their own businesses and kind of get away from the 9 to 5. How much of a role did the pandemic play in you deciding to say, hey, I'm going to go all in on this thing?
It's responsible for it, to be honest with you. Like, I always knew I wanted to do something, but life is work, kids, spouse. Like sometimes you don't get a chance to slow down. But with the pandemic, your job literally telling you, nah, you can't come here. I had nothing but time to research, think, run numbers, and just try some stuff. And that was around April or May of 2020. So by December, I had already had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do and had some knowledge that it was working. But just what I was selling just wasn't working. But man, the pandemic was, unfortunately, it was really bad for a lot of people. But for us as a family, it was good. It gave me time to really lock in.
What were you selling before that wasn't working so that the rest of us don't have to make that mistake?
Man, now let me say, in the beginning, it was fun, right? So I started looking on YouTube for things that people were selling. And I came across this guy that was selling these Amazon liquidation lots. Like there's a site called liquidation.com. You can go in there and buy Amazon returns. The thing with the returns, you know, when you return something to Amazon, sometimes you just don't like it, or sometimes it's trash. And other times people return things that they didn't even buy, right? They return the old thing because Amazon's still going to give you your money. So when you get these lots on the picture, you only can see the top of the box. And they have a manifest, but it's not 100% guaranteed. So when you get it, you start going through it, you get what you get. Like there's no refund, you get what you get. It's kind of gambling. And in the beginning, one, before people started catching on to it, two, before the pandemic really kicked in where people were looking for other ways to make money, the stuff we were getting, and I say we because my wife was helping me find lots of stuff, the stuff was really good. I was getting a lot of computer stuff, which was great for everybody working at home. Like, so stuff was turning over really quick. But then as we get more like into the pandemic, start getting stuff like Amazon basic folders and batteries and just stuff that isn't going to resell good, isn't worth the time photographing, isn't worth the time storing. And then I just started accumulating all this crap that I really didn't want to list because it wasn't selling. So I got on YouTube and I was like, damn, what can I start selling? And I came across this couple, Renzi. And they were like, oh yeah, we're full-time shoe sellers and we make X amount. And I'm just like, no, you can't do that. Like, nobody's buying used shoes, right? So I started selling my records. I started selling more of my records, and then buying them to resell. The issue with that was two things. When you sell records, you sell them or you ship them through this thing called USPS Media Mail. Media Mail has no insurance. So when they fold your record like a taco and put it in the mailbox, you got to eat the cost. That was one. Two, I was buying so much stuff and I would spin everything just to describe it the right way. I ended up keeping a lot because it was good stuff, right? I was buying stuff that I'd never listened to before and I actually enjoyed it. So I was like, all right, let me get this shoe thing a try. So I hit 2nd Avenue, which is one of the local thrift stores. I get 5 or 6 pair, clean them up, list them. The first pair sold, I think, either the next day or 2 days later for like $70. I was like, all right, we might be on, we might be on to something, man. So, yeah, it was. I'll never forget. It was a pair of Air Max 97s, tan, and they were size 10.5, right? So everything lined up. Good brand, Air Max, so they have a great following, and it was a good size for a men's shoe. So I was like, all right, there might be something here, man. So I just started dumping into that, and once that started rolling, I just got rid of everything else that I was selling. I just got rid of it all.
So that transitioned you into shoes.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. How is the competition? So you're established because you've been doing it and you kind of have a process and all of that. What is the competition like in the resale market for somebody like you?
It's huge, but that's it. The competition is good. And before I had a business, I never would have thought I would say that, but competition is good because it now gives the customer a chance to choose. And if they come across my listing, they're going to at least click on it and compare it to somebody else's listing. And there are a lot of listings out there that aren't good for a variety of reasons. So that just gives you more of a bite when the customer comes to the marketplace. Cause like you'll type in the same shoe and you'll see a bunch of different pictures, right? They come across my listing. I stand out for a bunch of different reasons. And yeah, they make it easy sometimes.
Reload Supply says, how did you liquidate the inventory that wasn't shoes?
At first, I boxed everything up, and I actually kind of detailed it out and put it on Facebook Marketplace for Amazon liquidation lots. And it's like the same way. I had all these boxes. I took pictures, lettered them, and I sold like 3 or 4 that way. And then it got to a point where they weren't selling, so I just took all that stuff to Goodwill and just donated it. I was like, I'm tired of looking at it. I don't care. It's not enough money in it for me to worry about it. I just got rid of it.
How big do you project your company to be, and is it something that you're going to be able to scale?
Yes. So, thankfully, everything went good last year, and that translated into me going part-time in my day job in January. So I've been part-time Yeah, thank you, man.
We
I've
get,
been
hey,
part
we
time since
getting there,
January.
baby. We getting there. We getting there.
Yeah, man, and we're already having those talks and planning for me to be full time doing this before the new year. So I'm already getting there, but I know I'm still just scratching the surface. Like I'm very low on the reseller totem pole, and I know where this could go eventually.
Mm. So, is it possible for you to scale it to the point where you have like Red Mountain Resale brick and mortar stores?
I could, but I wouldn't. I
Why
don't.
not?
So one, I don't want the responsibility of having employees. I don't want a storefront because of theft. Um, and no, I'm serious. Most of the thrift stores that I go to, they got armed security out there, like because people steal from thrift stores. So it's something I just don't want to deal with. And to be honest, I mean, you know me, I don't want to deal with a bunch of people, right? Like I'd rather be here, do my thing, and mail it off. I don't want to have to like have a face to face with customers. But I do eventually see a warehouse with one or two employees.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Let me ask you this: What's your what's your largest expense? Is it the shoes? Is it the shoes themselves, or is it the marketing? What's your largest expense?
Inventory, definitely inventory,
Okay.
which is it's a good thing. That for me right now that's the biggest expense.
Okay. Well, I mean that makes sense. I mean, you got that big old Foot Locker back room over there. What what's your? Let me ask you this. I don't. I can't recall if we've ever discussed politics because I think when we were working together, I wasn't that into politics. But since you are now a business owner and operator, has your views on taxes and taxation changed from before?
Um, Not really, and I think that's because it hasn't really hit me just yet, right?
Hmm.
Like I know the tax rate is different if you're self-employed, but I'm not fully yet self-employed. So maybe next year I'll have a different view.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm interested in how the tax thing is gonna play out because I just established my company in April.
Congrats, man.
No, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It felt when I was talking about that wallet, we were
Yeah,
just in conversation, and I said, yeah, my corporation, and I was like, wait a minute, like that just kind of
feels
rolled off
good.
my tongue. I've been an employee for 25 years or something, so to be like, oh,
Yeah,
I got my company,
yeah.
so it
That's
felt
that's
kind of good.
major.
Like, oh, that's nice. Like it was nice.
It's major, man, and everybody could do it, man. Everybody could do it. You just gotta put that time and work in and just do it. Pull the trigger, just do it.
What I just came to the realization too that I think a lot of younger kids today already are hip to is that
Yep.
you can turn anything into a business at this point.
Anything.
And I was watching this clip of Gary V. You know who Gary V is?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching this clip of Gary V and he was like, he said he said something like, if you think that the great resignation is bad, wait until we get to the great never applied in the first place.
Fat
Right?
man. Yeah, yeah.
Right? And he said, of course, all of these kids, they want to be, Jake Paul or some big TikTok or big Instagram or YouTuber. He was like, but a lot of these kids, they're going to end up making 60, $70,000 a year doing what they love. They're going to, you know, base their finances and buy their houses based on what they make. And they're not going to come work for your company.
Nope. They don't need to. Right? I don't have to listen to anybody. I can just continue to do what I've been doing, something I learned because it was fun and I've monetized it. Like, man, how you can't get no better than that.
Yeah, that's why I be trying to sell these t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Hey, 15% off for my live audience here at
Yeah.
IamShelfNextDoor.com. And shout out again to About That Wallet, season 2, episode 1, all taxes for 2022. So I'm assuming
That's
that's
right.
what his podcast episode 1 of season 2 is going to be on taxes. He's a great person to talk to, man. I was watching pieces of that interview, like, yo, this dude's brilliant, yo.
That's why I say. So we work together now, and he used to sit directly across from me. Now he's in a different part of the building. But whenever he comes to my desk, an hour will fly by, and we've thought of all these different ideas, and I can't tell you how many conversations have turned into content for both of us, right? Like, he's the reason I'm on Instagram. I told him, like, I'm cool, man. I don't need Instagram. He's like, trust me, just try it, and it's turned into something amazing.
What role does, which leads into my next question, what role does social media play, or how big of a role does social media play in your business and marketing and all of that good stuff?
So, it's funny, like, that was kind of what I thought it would be, me promoting and sending people to my eBay store. But to be honest, yeah, no one will tell you that your leave is denied. Damn right.
Right.
You just got to bang on them. But to be honest, man, social media, like Instagram specifically for me, I've gotten so many different connections or tips on sales, or I met the guy that sends me shoes from California on Instagram, or I've gotten the opportunity to get certain types of inventory. Like, the community of people that follow you and reach out to you and tip you off to certain things. Instagram hands down has been the second biggest push for the business. The first was the pandemic. Instagram has definitely been the second.
Reload Supply, I appreciate the follow. Love you. Appreciate that. You mentioned being married. You mentioned having kids.
Yeah.
What role does having a family play in your business?
It's all right, let's go through it. So amazing. Let's just say that my wife has hands down been there through all of it. She's pointed me in the right direction for certain things. Been my biggest supporter, my biggest cheerleader, without sounding too cliche. But she's helped me a bunch of different ways, whether it's coming down, cleaning shoes, listing, taking the kids for an extra 3 hours so I can do what I need to do. It's been amazing. As far as the kids, my kids are 4 and 6, so this summer is killing us. This is the first year we've had them both home, and it's definitely been a bigger challenge getting this work done, right? Because I'm doing it in the house. I'm not leaving to do it. So it's trying to get stuff done down here. My wife's upstairs trying to work because she works full time from home. So that's been a challenge. But as they get older, I definitely want to bring them into the business, and not necessarily that they have to eventually sell shoes themselves, but just show them, like, you can literally create something and then take care of your family on that creation, right? And it's not even something that I invented. You didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Just did what someone else is doing and put my own spin on
it. Yeah. Shout out to 60s_fit for the follow. If you follow me doing the live, as soon as I get off, I'll follow you back. I'm pretty good at following people back. You follow me doing my lives. And if y'all want to get on the interview, let me know. You know what I'm saying? We could chop it up.
Definitely.
I scroll Instagram and I see these reels and they talk about how you can pay your kids $12,000 a year and write it off. Have you do you give them a toothbrush or a toothpick and be like, hey, see that blue shoe over there? It's a rock on the bottom. Plug that out and I pay you $12,000. Have you implemented that into your master plan yet?
So, man, that's one of my favorite concepts of, like, putting them into the business to where it could, something they do today could benefit them, 20 years from now. So that's definitely one of my thoughts. I'm still trying to figure out, maybe once I get my inventory reorganized the way I want, I'll have them come down and something that they can logically do, right? Like, I can pay a 6-year-old to put shoes on the shelf. Hey, daddy said put that over there. All right, that's $10. And it's, like you said, it's a tax write-off, and that's per child. So once it really starts rolling, technically I could write off $24,000 that's in each of their, I believe, IRAs. If you open them up a custodial IRA, and then that money is just growing. Like, that's incredible. What if our parents knew about that stuff? It's crazy.
If my parents knew about that, I probably wouldn't have a job. I
Exactly.
might have a job, you know what I'm saying? But I would be way further ahead in the game. So I know for me, I look at it and I'm similar to you. It doesn't, you don't have to do what I do, but I want you to understand the principles of
Hmm.
business, understand the principle of creating your own revenue and being self-sustaining more than just, I gotta go to work. Like I
Yeah.
hate saying that. Like almost every night, Libby asks me, she'll be like, can't you just call out sick?" I'm like, baby, ain't that much sick leave in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not like a faucet where they just turn it on, here's your sick leave, you know. It doesn't work
Yep.
like that. I have to go to work.
But that's true, man. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, there's a term for it. I can't remember the term, but maybe it's the Sunday night blues or something like that. There's a term for it. But Sunday nights, my wife would tell you, like, my whole mood changes because I'm already thinking of driving to work and
Mm-hmm.
just asking for leave or asking for that. Like, the most dangerous people know that they don't have to ask for anything, right? They can create it themselves, and that's where we're going towards. And like you said, like this generation coming up behind us that are growing up in this age and era now, like, man, if they do what they want to do or what they feel, what they love, they chase their dream or passion. Yeah, they never had to have a boss unless they absolutely want to.
Yeah, that's great, man. You know, I'm out 10 years from retirement, so I'm playing this game to be like, okay, how far can I take this thing before there's no point in walking away? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I hit that number today, 10 years is a long time to do what I do and anything could happen, so why would I do that?
Yep.
But if I hit that number 6 years from now and I have 4 years to go, it would be like saying, okay, I'm gonna give up this guaranteed $70,000 a year passive income, and all I really have to do is continue what I've been doing for another 4 years. It might not be advantageous to walk away at that point. So I'm playing this game to see how far
Hmm.
can I take it before I'm like, I might as well ride it out. You see what I'm saying?
But what if you hit that number, right? And using your example, you're 4 years away, but okay, I hit this number, and now with the free time I'll have from not going here for 40 plus hours, I can make another that and a half, that and three quarters, double, right? Like, so that's also
Mhm.
something to think about. Like, because
So
that's kind of how I think about it.
okay, so 4 years, we're gonna project 6 years into the future. 4 years from retiring, but based on my business, I know that I can instead of making I can make 200% or 250% more from my business than I can waking up and going to work every day. Am I
Yeah.
walking away?
Goodbye.
Um, yeah, you know why? Because health insurance, for as expensive as it is, it ain't that damn expensive.
or
It's
or
cool.
I don't know what your wife does, but like we literally just switched. So we just got added to my wife's insurance, preparing for where we want to what we want to do in 6 months.
Mm.
So that's also another route.
Mm. Well, I can't be on my wife's insurance, but I did the math. I said even if the health insurance costs me $2,000 a month, that's $24,000 a year. So if I'm making $300,000 a year selling T-shirts and doing a podcast, I have no
Right.
problem going on the Obamacare marketplace and being like, I'll take the Blue Cross Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield premium
That's right.
plan. My arm hurts, fix it. You know what I'm saying? So
That's right.
it's cool.
See, I think it's good that you say that, man, because when I first started talking and thinking about business, those are some of the questions I were getting. What about retirement? What about healthcare? Like, just like you said, like I can do that on my own. I don't have to depend on an employer to give me that at a discounted rate. The rate's going to change, but I can still be okay. I'll just do it myself. And I think a lot of people either don't know that or don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching this. I watch these documentaries on socioeconomic and political arguments, and I've read books on the healthcare thing and stuff like that. And I won't go deep into it, but it's very interesting amount of control that the federal, state, local governments and corporations have over our health care and medical care decisions and stuff like that. So that's just something, and that's just like you said, something to think about. Like if I can afford it on my own and still have the free time to live the life that I want to live, it's probably worth it to be free and not have to
Yeah,
be like, hey, my kid's birthday's coming up next month. Do you mind if I take a day off?
exactly.
You know.
Or get guilted, right? Like I remember asking for leave, like, hey, yeah, we're gonna go do an X, Y, and Z. Can I get leave? But you was just off 2 weeks ago. Okay, man. I earned the leave. I earned it. I came in here and earned the leave, and I want to use it, right? Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Wiley said it's definitely extra effort and another level of discipline to build your healthcare plan and retirement. Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
I think we've gotten to a point in society to where it's easy to depend on someone else to do things for you.
Yeah,
And to me, in my opinion, that's a trap. It's a trap that most of us fall into. So I'm not knocking anybody. I got a job. I've been working for a long time. But I understand the amount of freedom that is lost in going to work for someone else. And it's deeper than just, like you said, that one day off. They control a lot more than what you would choose to. If someone just sat you down and gave you a hypothetical, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying, you would probably choose the freedom over the job welfare, if that's what you want to call it. That's probably a bad term because you're actually working for it. But it's kind of like job welfare.
No, that's I've never heard that term, but it actually feels accurate.
Yeah,
It feels accurate.
Like I'm coming here, I'm just doing the bare minimum that needs to be done so that I can go to the grocery store and pay for this $5 a gallon gas.
Yeah,
I think you would just feel more free to just be like, look, I do what I want to do, guys.
I do what I want to do. I do. I know the formula me and my family need to live the life that we want to live, and I can do that without y'all. Goodbye.
Richie said a lot of society is scared of the unknown, so they'd rather have someone else control it for them. I mean,
Ooh,
yeah, that's true,
I just
right?
talked about that. I just talked about that, man. It scares me more being scared, or how do I say it? It scares me more letting that unknown fear stifle me from doing something else. Like, I would hate, like I was talking to Anthony about it, of course. I was like, I would hate to work 35 years and on that 35th year and first day, I get smacked by a bus. And I always promise myself, once I retire, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do all these things. Right? Life happens, right? Now you don't get to touch the thing you've been saving for 35 years. You don't get to do that business you were talking about or whatever idea or plan. Like, I would rather do it now and be like, damn, it didn't work out. I'm going to start putting applications out rather than wait all this time. And then maybe, I mean, health and all, you just never know. What if in 30 years you just physically not able to do the thing or dream you want to pursue? So it's time now. We're not waiting no more.
Yeah, man. I mean, you are an inspiration to me because watching you do it, I'm like, man, like I got to figure this thing out. Like I'm about to go buy some dirty shoes. I'm about to go to the Goodwill.
Hey, anytime, man.
Hang up. Time for this thing, man. Let me see. Let me ask you this. I always ask my guests, how do you want the world to remember you?
Man, somebody that followed his dream, no matter what. No matter what, he followed his dreams.
I like that. That's fearless. And I don't want to be long-winded, but something's telling me to say this. Like,
Nah, do it, man.
as a black dude, you know what I'm saying? I think about how I'll put it this way. It amazes me how much our people have grown to a point where we thirst for the powers that be to do things for us.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I'm at a point where I'm like, you know what? I had an argument with my best friend one day, and
Okay.
the way it kind of ended, I just remember how I ended it, and I just know I said something to the effect of, "I'd rather die a free man," you know what I'm saying, than to live a slave or under the thumb of Big Brother.
Yeah.
And both of them are scary in my opinion. But I
Yeah.
guarantee you, like, if I could bring in my ancestor who was a slave and sit him or her here, they'd be like, "Hey, look, dog. Hey,
Right.
hey. I know the free shit sounds good, but trust me, believe you me, buddy.
Yeah.
It's you can grow your own watermelon and you will survive. Just go, whatever. But you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But I will say
No, I
this.
understand that.
I do think that I have more conservative views now than I did in the past, right? Because I think right now
Okay.
the conservative arguments are more uh leave me alone. It's like, look, y'all do what y'all want to do. We don't really care. We're gonna get a bunch of money off this oil and all these other things, and you guys can do what you want to do. All right, you know what? Cool, because y'all gonna get y'all money anyway,
Yeah.
and and I'm just I, I just appreciate freedom, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I like the idea of being able to move how I want to move, do what I want to do, and make the decisions that I want to make without asking permission of any governing body. So the smaller the government, the better, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I think that our people have a legitimate. This is where I disagree with most conservatives.
Okay.
Um, I think that our people have a legitimate argument for reparations, and
Mm.
because there's a legitimate argument for reparations, it's easy for a political party to come to us with crumbs and say, well, we'll give you this, and we'll give you this, and we'll give you this. But the trap
Mm.
is that you become dependent upon them. They're going to get their money anyway. There is no way around it. Pareto principle says the top one, there will always be a top 1%. And for the most part, that ain't going to be us. It may
Yeah.
be one of us or some of us, a small percentage
Some.
of us,
Yeah.
but they keep us suckling at at their teat for the purpose of maintaining power. But what grinds my gears is they do it in a way as if to say that we like you. And in my opinion, neither of you like us. You don't care about us. You never did. You never will. You don't like us. So when I've gotten into debates and have been called a coon, Uncle Tom, and Uncle Ruckus for saying I'd rather vote conservative, um, for me, it's more like one side pretends like they like me, but they don't. The other is pretty much straight up telling you, we don't like you
Yeah.
or dislike you. We don't give a shit. Are we
Yeah.
breaking bread or not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to get this bread or not?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this bread. So that's just kind of that's my soapbox. But I'll move on because this ain't about me. Um,
No,
real quick,
you know,
go ahead.
I'm saying, man, you know, I love those conversations, those tangents and stuff, man, because it brings up a whole bunch of different, like questions. Like, I think you and Anthony talked about it, but do you think reparations should be a thing?
Um, so I'll answer it like this. Um, I think that the arguments about systemic racism, some of them have validity and others of them don't. The
Mm.
one thing I think that anybody cannot deny is that the oppression of the past affects us wholly, maybe not individually, but wholly
Yeah.
as black people. It affects us in the future. That past of slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, civil rights, and all of that stuff affects us. It has reverberated into the present moment. So
Mm.
if right, so if the ills of the past affect us in any way, for a fact, it's the economic aspect. So because of that, I would argue that there is a valid argument for reparations. And I talked about this with about that while to Anthony. I
Yeah.
just think there's a smarter way to do it than to just say we're gonna cut all of y'all a check. right?
I
So if
agree.
you want to hear,
Yeah.
if you want to hear my explanation, this is my way of getting y'all to watch the other video. If you want to hear my explanation on the way I think reparations should be distributed, right? Um, go watch my About That Wallet interview. But my issue with reparations is that I'm not completely sold on the idea that a group of people who never owned slaves and never oppressed anyone should pay a bunch of people who were never slaves and, on paper have all of their civil rights and freedoms. So,
Right.
if one day we happen to be in power, and we do some effed up stuff, I don't particularly think my great 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 grandson should cut somebody else's great 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 grandson a check.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I
It's
ain't interested in paying my own reparations.
yeah.
They would
Yeah.
ask me and then be like, "Oh, here you go." No, 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 no. See, that's my money. That was my money to begin with. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
It's funny because I kind of have the same view. Yes, but maybe not. Right? Like exactly that. Right? Like, do I deserve that? Right? Like you said, from people that never oppressed or didn't. Like, it's an interesting conversation, and it's interesting because you'll get a different answer from different people. It's usually either yes, we deserve, or no, 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 I don't want that. I don't need that. So it's an interesting conversation.
it is. It's very interesting, and I always try to question I always try to question my beliefs when I'm the one who stands to gain or to lose and see if
Mm,
I were on the other side, how would I feel? Yeah, of course it's easy for me to come to the conclusion that I should get some reparations. That's like me saying that's like them saying, "Hey, do you think you deserve to hit the lottery for $300 million?" Sure.
yes,
I bought a ticket, right? You know what I'm
right.
saying? The guy who has to pay it, if I was the guy who had to shell out the 300 million, I'd be like, why does this guy deserve it?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
yep,
I like to take the conflict, I like to take the opposing views and stand in both sides and then come to a conclusion. And it's never as cut and dry. Once I remove my ability to gain or lose, it gets way more muddy than if I just say, "Hey,
yeah,
what's in it? What's in it for me?"
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's how I try to look at most things in life. But we got to move on. Top five, dead or alive. I know you cheated. I know you got your top five. So you're gonna tell me the top five people, dead or alive, real or fictional, that you would like to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation.
All right, I forgot to write them down.
Okay, that's
So
good.
so
See,
yeah.
that's good.
Okay, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I got to. I'm cheat a little bit. The first person I would talk to would be myself between 18 and 22. That's who I would talk.
Mm,
I would talk to me, and I would say, "Yo, stop spending so much money on nonsense." Plain and simple.
okay, that's a good one. Yeah, I had myself in mind. I
Okay.
had my 5 or 6 year old self, and then I had like my deathbed self.
Okay. That's okay. Oh, all right. You got to tell me now. That's that's interesting.
I mean, I just think it would be cool to sit here as a. I'll be 40 this year. My birthday is November 6th. If anybody wants to
Dang.
cash
Okay.
at me or buy a T-shirt, 10% off. Um, I just think it would be cool. So I do these meditations where I. So when I was in first grade, I didn't talk to
Really?
anybody. I didn't talk. They thought I was on the spectrum. I might be on the spectrum. Who knows? Um, So they put me in like a special class. So I was in the regular class, but then they would take me outside to this round table with the other kids that they thought were on the spectrum. And now when I do, but I was dealing with some stuff at home. And so now what I do is I meditate my current self back to my younger self. And we
Mm.
sit down and we chop it up. And what that does is it heals the inner child, it helps my inner child be more comfortable with who he is, who I am. And I was
Interesting.
saying, like, you know, it would be cool if my deathbed self could shoot back into time and talk to me now and be like, hey,
Mm.
these are the things that I think you missed out on. These are the, some of the mistakes or the regrets that you have when this thing's coming to an end and you're going into that, that dark, fateful night. These are the things that I would have done differently, because it's easier for me to project to my 5-year-old self than it is for me to take my 40-year-old self and project into that last me. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting, man. That's dope, man.
Hey, Anthony, I appreciate it, man. About that Wiley, y'all check out his
Thanks,
podcast.
man.
That's my man. So yourself between 18 and 22. Who else you got?
Number 2, I'm gonna cheat again. It would be both my grandfathers. They're no longer here. They passed when I was younger. But I would talk to both of them. And what I would want to talk to them about is, right, they say that history repeats itself and no idea is original. I want to talk to them and ask them, like, did you ever have a love of music, or did you ever have any business ideas that you wanted to pursue, but maybe the time wasn't right for whatever reason? Like, that'd be super interesting to like hear.
Okay.
The next person, it had to be Nas, man. I would want to talk. Man, I would want to talk to Nas just because, like, man, amazing artist, right? He got kind of quiet for a while, and then he pops up. He's into all this tech investing, right? And then starts putting out all these crazy ass albums with Hit Boy. Like, Nas is amazing, man. Nas is crazy, man. So definitely Nas. Warren Buffett, for obvious reasons, right? I would kind of want to talk to Warren Buffett and ask him, like, you talk about all these stocks and investments that you got into 50, 60 years ago. Do you think that's possible now for someone? Are there chances for somebody to get in on the ground level at some of these businesses and then have the return that you have all these years later?
That's a great question.
Yeah, right. What is that? Is that 4? I think that's 4.
You got your grandfathers, you got Nas, and you got Warren Buffett. So if you wanted to count your grandfathers as 2, because you're my man, I'll grant you that. But if you had somebody else that you really wanted to chop it up with, you could do that too.
Jay-Z. I would love to sit down. Man, I would love to sit and talk to Hov, man. Again, same thing. Just how you took your passion, your love of something, created this entire dynasty, right? Great album. Created this whole dynasty, and then you turned it into all these other businesses. And now you're like a mentor to all these younger artists, telling them, like, hey, don't be buying chains and cars. Like, you need to do this and do this. Do the things that I didn't do so you can be further than I am. So those are my 5, man.
Okay, cool. What's your favorite Nas song? What's your favorite Jay-Z song?
Damn. Man, I can't pick a Nas song. And I say that because these last Hit Boy albums have changed my entire like, man, they've changed my entire view on Nas. Like, to be where he is, his age, like somewhat removed from current music, and then come back with what, man. So I can't pick for Nas.
Nas ruined. Nas came back with KD1, KD2, and Magic, and completely ruined the like in a great way, ruined the legacy, because it completely changed the dynamic of how you look at his career, right? Like, this thing was over. Like, it was cool. To me, Nas is a joke. I don't care. You could bring Pop, Biggie, Jay, Jesus Christ. Ain't nobody a better rapper than Nas, right?
Yep.
But then he comes out with these other joints, and it's like, does this shit stop?
But see, the crazy thing is, man, like, a lot of artists that we listen to, especially if they're older, they get with a new producer or younger artist and they try to emulate that sound or that wave. Nas is still Nas on Hit Boy. And it's, oh my God, man. Wait, man. All right, yeah. As soon as I get off here,
I'm 21 years past the 27 club. It's like I went back into my past and then I sped it up. Oh my God. Anyway, we gotta go.
I know.
What's your favorite Jay-Z joint?
Probably anything off of Reasonable Doubt. But I'm leaning towards feeling it. I'm leaning towards feeling it.
Okay.
I don't know why that. That album, yeah,
Dead
Dead
Presidents
Presidents. Maybe
One
I just
though.
listened to it too much.
Dead Presidents One though. The first one.
Yeah, a lot of
The
people don't
first
know there's.
one.
A lot of people don't know there's two, which is funny.
So the first one has a the low end, the low end of the song on Dead Presidents One is more pronounced in the music.
Like
You know what I'm
instrumentation.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that depth, that darkness, that nighttime
Yeah.
drive feel on Dead Presidents
Woo!
One for me
Yeah.
is what's like. You hear that, and you can
Yeah.
feel the reverberation. It's like, oh man, that's crazy.
See,
Feeling it.
people don't feel music anymore, man, and that's why I love talking to people like you because you get it. Like I
Hmm.
still to this day, man, certain songs come on that I've never heard an arm just bump up. Like, ooh, what is that? Like it's a feeling, man, and it's something you can't shake.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, man, Jay and Nas, my guys. I wish I could sit down with them. Neither one of them. Nas was in my top five until it was my turn to give him my top five, and then I took him out because I just was like, you know what? Let me give some other people some love because I listen to Nas all day long. I feel like Nas my best friend. He don't know it yet.
Yeah, man.
So I always give my guests an opportunity to ask me a question before we sign off. So if you want to pick my brain the way I pick yours for the past hour and 10, 15 minutes, this is your moment.
You know, it's crazy because the question I had for you, you answered it. You were the first person to talk to me about meditation, and I remember asking you like, "What if I meditate and fall asleep?" You're like, "Well, then you fall asleep." So I was gonna ask you like, did you still meditate, and what was that process for you? And you answered it. So
Yeah, so meditation, I've been meditating for about 12 years now,
yeah,
and it's changed over time. I've done research on different ways to meditate, and the main takeaway that I get from it is that it shows you how your mind is no different than the rest of your body, and that it functions on its own. This whole thing is on most of this thing is on autopilot. So I always say like your heart's beating, your hair's growing, you're blinking, your nervous system's doing a bunch of stuff, and your mind's doing a bunch of stuff too. And when you get into meditation and you realize that you are the movie screen that the movie plays on, and that the movie clips will always change. There'll be different movies, there'll be different characters, but you are the witness behind it all. It's not to say that you can avoid the danger
mm,
of real life or the emotions of real life or the pains and the joys of real life. It's just that you understand that you are the canvas that life is occurring on. And
that's crazy.
there's some solace in that. So it's okay to feel the emotions because they're gonna come and they're gonna go. So
Man, I can
that's
have a
my
whole nother conversation about that, man.
we're doing in season five, you know what I'm
Man,
saying?
yeah. See, this is what happens, man. Every time I talk to you or Anthony or like-minded folks, I so much stuff happens. It's just like, man, this conversation has to keep going. But I appreciate you having me, man.
Absolutely, man. If y'all don't follow him, make sure y'all follow him on Instagram. It's at red underscore mountain underscore resale. Where can we find your shoes?
eBay. So in my bio of Instagram, it's redmountainresell.com. I will add my link tree back because I got a couple other things I need to add. But right now, if you hit that link, it'll take you straight to my eBay store and you can find everything that I have.
Cool. If you're watching this on YouTube, all of the links will be in the description. If you're watching this on Instagram Live, you have until Monday to use the promo code Mountain, all caps, for 15% off at the I Am Chels X store. And I love you, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
This has been great. This is
love
dope.
you
You know
too,
what I'm saying?
man. Man, I will always say, man, I appreciate it, and it's just amazing how later in life everyone's doing different things and you're in different places and you can still come together and create something dope. Like this live is dope, man. Our conversations in the DMs are dope. So I appreciate you, man.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, brother. I'll hit you up. You be good. Hug the family for me and be blessed. Y'all be good.
All right,
Peace.
y'all.
Holla.